Good morning, class 6. We were reading chapter 6, How Things Change. In this chapter, we have seen some examples of changes. We have seen reversible and irreversible changes. We have seen some activities of reversible changes and irreversible changes. We have seen physical change. And now in this class, we are going to study about chemical changes. So students, open page number 72 in your science book and keep a pencil with you to underline hard words. Now I am going to read. A chemical change occurs as a result of a chemical reaction between the molecules of substances and a new substance is formed. Thus, in chemical change, the molecules of original substances undergo changes to form molecules of a new substances. So, chemical change is a change in which the molecules within the substance interact with each other, leading to some changes that form molecules of a new substance. In activity 6.8, you have seen that the dough of wheat flour on baking makes tasty chapati, which is a new substance. Similarly, the taste of vegetables and rice changes after cooking. So, in activity 6.8, you saw that tasty chapati can be made from dough, which is a chemical change. Apart from this, due to chemical change, rice and vegetable are changed in the taste after cooking. Most of the changes are irreversible and permanent. Here you have to underline irreversible. Irreversible means stable or static. Let us perform activity 6.10 and 6.11 to understand some chemical changes. To perform activity 6.10, you have an aim to observe the chemical change in an egg on boiling it. So first you have to take some water in a pan. You have to put an egg into it and boil it for about 10 to 15 minutes. What do you observe? You will observe that the boiled egg becomes hard and tastes very different as compared to the unboiled egg, contents of which float within the eggshell. This chemical change is irreversible and permanent. So, in this activity we found that when we boiled the egg became hard and was completely different from the unboiled egg. So, this change is called chemical change, which cannot be changed back. Now, activity 6.11. To perform this activity, you have an aim to observe the chemical change on lighting a candle. So, first you have to take a candle and light it. You have to observe what happens when the wick of the candle burns. It gives heat, light and some gases and are released. The size of the candle also keeps reducing with time. The chemical change in the wick is irreversible and permanent. So, when we light a candle, heat, light and some gases come out from the wick of the candle and the size of the candle decreases as it burns. So, the chemical change in the wick is irreversible and permanent. Now, students, turn this page. Expansion and contraction. Changes can be brought about by heating or cooling certain substances. Metals like iron, gold and silver soften on heating and can be molded into different shapes and sizes. Thus, on heating, metals expand and on cooling, they go back to their original size. It is reversible change. So, when anything expands in size. This phenomena is called expansion, and when anything contracts in size, so this phenomena is known as contraction. So from this paragraph we have seen that many things can be changed by cooling or heating them. By heating, a lot of metals can be molded in some other form because they rises from their original size by heating, and after cooling they can gain back to their original size. This concept is utilized to fix wooden handles into iron blades to form tools which are used to dig the soil and for various other purposes. So in this way the iron tool is heated and a wooden handle is placed in it so that we hold things. An iron blade of these tools has a ring into which a wooden handle is fixed. Normally the ring is slightly smaller in diameter than the wooden handle. So the iron blade is ring shaped into which the wooden handle is fixed. This iron blade is smaller in size than the wooden handle. While fixing the handle, the ring is heated. It becomes slightly larger in size, that is, expansion takes place. The wooden handle is now fixed easily in the ring. On cooling, the ring attains its normal size, that is, contraction takes place. The wooden handle fits tightly in the ring. So the ring is shorter than the wooden handle, as you all know. Because of this, sufficient heat is given to the iron ring, due to which ring increases in its size, and when applied over the wooden ring, it is easily placed on it. After that, when the ring cools down, it retains its size, and so that the wooden handle is held tightly by iron ring. Is that clear? Same concept is utilized while fixing a metal rim on a wooden wheel of a cart. Normally, the size of the metal rim is slightly smaller than that of the wooden wheel. While fixing the metal rim, it is heated. It becomes slightly larger in size, and now it can be fixed onto the wooden wheel. On cooling, it contracts and fits tightly onto the wheel. So this same concept is applied when we fix a metal rim on a wooden wheel of a cart. The metal rim is smaller in size than the wooden wheel, so heat is given to the metal rim, which increases in size. The metal rim is then fixed over the wooden wheel. After cooling down, metal rim regains its size, and wooden wheel is held tightly by metal rim. Is that clear? Ask your mother how she separates two steel glasses that get fixed tightly into each other. She puts the two glasses in hot water. Slight expansion occurs in the outer glass, and the two glasses can be separated easily. So ask to your mother how does she remove when two steel glasses stick together. She puts them in hot water, that the outside glass expands and the outside glass easily escapes from the glass which is inside of that glass. Is that clear? Now in the next class we will see physical changes in water. So thank you class.